Nobody else makes this person feel this way. No matter how hard they try to deny, forget, or replace it, it's still there. The memory comes back on its own, without warning. This person has tried to move on. They've sought out other conversations, other touches, other presences. They've attempted to force a new connection, to create a desire where there was none, to force interest where the body did not respond, but everything failed. Because not just anyone can reach what was ignited once. What was felt in that specific presence hasn't happened again, and it probably won't. It's as if there was a perfect fit, not the obvious kind, not the visible kind, a more internal fit, harder to name, impossible to recreate. This person realizes this when they find themselves bored in the midst of a conversation that should be interesting, when they feel their body is present, but their mind is miles away, when they experience someone's touch and sense that something is missing, even without knowing what it is. That's when the truth hits. Nobody else makes this person feel that way. Nobody else touches that exact, invisible, sensitive spot. Nobody else activates that state of presence, silence, surrender. Others come along, others try, others even manage to make them smile. But no one can access what has already been reached once, what left a mark, what the body hasn't forgotten, what the heart still recognizes, even when everything says it's better to erase. And this person knows, even if they don't say it, even if they pretend, even if they run away, nobody else has made this person feel what they felt there, because it wasn't ordinary, it wasn't convenience, it wasn't neediness, it was real, it was rare, it was irreplaceable. You can call it a memory, you can call it the past, you can try to erase it, silence it, let it go, but there's something that remains alive, present, latent, like an echo that doesn't fade away. This person tried to move on, tried to open up again, tried to rebuild something from the shards, but everything hits the same absence. Nothing reaches what was felt. Nothing touches like it was touched. Nothing enters like you did. There's no logical explanation. There's no rational justification. It's a sensation. It's a perception. It's that which invades without being invited. It's that which is recognized without understanding why. The way the gaze was received, the way the body responded, the involuntary reaction of smiling just by remembering, the shared silence that made sense, the presence that was enough. This hasn't happened again. And it's not for lack of trying. This person has tried other names, other voices, other gestures, has been touched by other hands, has heard new promises, has dived into other stories, but the body doesn't lie. The soul doesn't pretend, the energy doesn't betray, and perception shows up again when least expected, sometimes in a song, in a scent, in a stray phrase in the middle of the day, sometimes in the midst of a tasteless kiss, of an impactless touch, of an attempt at a new beginning that dies before it's born, because nothing else reached that place, there, in that specific spot inside her, there where you arrived, where you stayed, where no one else had access. It may seem like an exaggeration, but it's not. It's real, it's perceptible. It's an absence with shape, with texture, with memory. And it doesn't matter how many times this person says they've moved on. The body still knows, the heart still remembers, the soul still feels. This isn't about idealization. It's not about immature longing. It's about a presence that marked more than it should have, more than was allowed, more than was possible to sustain, and yet it remains alive. Even so, it doesn't fade. This person tried to substitute, tried to forget what they felt by your side, tried to recreate, tried to live again, but with each attempt comes the realization, it's not the same, it doesn't have the same frequency, it doesn't create the same impact, it doesn't activate the same vibration. Because what you lived wasn't ordinary, it was visceral, it was raw, it was honest, it was too deep to be casual, it was noticeable even in what wasn't said. This person felt seen, felt heard, felt touched entirely, inside and out, and that has no substitute. Others might try, others might enchant, but no one holds what you held. No one deciphers it the same way, no one understands without her having to explain. The feeling was one of peace, even in chaos, of belonging, even in conflict, of presence, even in silence. And this person misses that, pretends they don't. lies when people say she's moved on, smiles on the outside but knows there's something there that still pulses, something that still burns, something that insists. It doesn't matter how much time passes, it doesn't matter how many experiences come after, nothing has touched that exact point, that emotional center, that place where you were the only one to arrive, and she keeps asking herself why, asks why it was so powerful, why it was so deep, why it hasn't left, why it doesn't disappear. It's because it wasn't just chemistry, it wasn't just the body, it wasn't just desire, it was soul, it was vibration, it was something that came from before, recognized in the gaze. It was as if everything there had some kind of energetic signature, inimitable, irreplaceable, incomparable. And now, this person lives trying to pretend everything is fine, that she's moved on, that it's a closed chapter, that it was just another part of the story, but it wasn't. And she knows that. She feels it when her chest tightens out of nowhere, when memories invade like a wave, when she senses that no one else can see who she really is. You saw, you felt, you crossed through, and now no one else can reach the same place. Others touch, others kiss, others say what she wants to hear. But no body sends shivers down her spine, no gaze disarms her, no silence embraces her, no presence is enough. Because what she lived with you still echoes, still vibrates, still demands space. She can pretend, she can run. You might even get involved with someone else. But when you lay your head on the pillow, when everything gets quiet, when no one else is there to watch, it's your name that comes back. It's your voice, your touch, your absence. And it's not just missing a relationship, it's missing an experience that hasn't been repeated, a deep place that was only accessed with you. That person knows, even if they deny it, even if they pretend, even if they never say it out loud, they know that no one else has made them feel what they felt with you. They know there hasn't been a substitute. They know there hasn't been a recreation. They know they lost something that still lives inside of them. And that awareness is silent. It's constant. It's unbearably real. There's no point in trying to erase it. It's no use trying to replace it. Because what you two experienced can't be erased. It can't be replaced. It can't be forgotten. It stays ingrained in the body, in the soul, in the memory that refuses to die. And maybe that person will never say it. Maybe they'll never admit it. Maybe they'll never send a message. Maybe they'll never have the courage to look you in the eyes again. But they feel, and they continue to feel, even in silence, even from afar, even with someone else by their side. They feel, because it's still you. And perhaps that's the point that hurts the most. What was left unsaid, what remained stuck, what could never be named. That person lives with that, with the absence of words that should have been spoken, with the weight of the unspoken, with the feeling that something is still pending. Sometimes they try to act as if everything has been resolved, as if life has gone on its course, as if what happened between you had dissolved over time, but it hasn't dissolved. It's just been hidden, buried under other priorities, other distractions, other commitments, but it hasn't passed, because what was felt is still there, implicit, present, intact. And when that person allows themselves to stop, when they let their guard down for a second, when they no longer need to pretend to anyone, they feel, with intensity, feels like they never properly said goodbye, feels like they didn't give everything they wanted, feels like there was still so much to experience, and it didn't happen. The realization of this is hard. It weighs heavily on the chest. It unsettles the mind, because there's no going back. There's no pretending it didn't happen, but there's also no moving on as if it doesn't matter. This person carries this paradox. They want to forget, but don't want to erase. They want to move forward, but still wait. They want to rebuild, but still compare. And they continue in silence, with this love hidden in their body, with this name that still stirs everything inside, with this memory that has become part of their inner fabric. You may not know them, but they still hear your voice in the subtext of the day. They still revisit scenes without meaning to. They still feel the scent of your presence even in a crowd. It's not constant. It's not always. But when it comes, it knocks them down, weakens them, makes them tremble. because no one else has done to them what you did. No one else has reached that place. No one else had access to that version of them, that vulnerable one, the one who gave themselves without fear, the one who felt secure even in uncertainty, and that is what they miss the most. It wasn't just about love, it was about identity. They felt more like themselves when they were with you. They felt more whole, more alive, more real, and now they miss that. They miss themselves. The version that only appeared when they were with you, that part has been lost, or has hidden away, or has been silenced by some pain that still throbs, even if they don't recognize it. And no matter how life goes on, no matter how the days pass, no matter how new chapters are written, the name remains there. The impact is still alive, the connection continues to linger, because some presences don't disappear, some experiences don't fade away, some bonds continue to exist even after they've been severed, and this person carries that. Even if they're smiling next to someone else, even if they're saying that everything is fine, even if they're swearing that they've forgotten, they know, they feel. She realizes. What happened to you hasn't happened to anyone else yet, and it might never happen, because that person understood something that they might not even be able to say out loud. What was felt no longer depends on your presence. It doesn't need messages, contact, or replies anymore. The mark remains, regardless of what you say, regardless of what happened afterward, regardless of distance, absence, silence. That feeling continues to exist, not in the form of waiting, not as foolish longing, but as a memory that shaped, as an experience that touched depths that no one else reached. What was felt doesn't disappear because it stopped being nourished. It became autonomous, independent, irreplaceable. This person is not stuck in time. They are not waiting for you. They are not living in the past. But they carry within them a kind of silent certainty. That was real, and it was unique. And no matter how life goes on, no matter how distractions fill the day, no matter how other stories occupy the space, nothing could pull that root out. Because what you both lived is not attached to the calendar. It is attached to the skin, to the unconscious, to the emotional memory that acts when the world goes silent. That's when the truth appears, when they try to like someone new, but something is missing. When they try to open up but feel closed inside. When they want to give themselves, but the body resists. It's not trauma. It's not a block, it's the absence of truth. It's the absence of what was only felt with you. There's no way to force it. There's no way to manufacture it. There's no way to pretend. Other people have good intentions. Other people are good company. But none of them evoke that feeling of being in the right place, even without understanding why. With you, they felt that. Even when it hurt. Even when it was confusing. Even when everything seemed wrong. Still, it was right. It was alive. It was profound. And now they realize they live surrounded by presences that do not touch, by voices that do not speak, by embraces that do not comfort, of silences that don't connect. Everything seems right, but nothing is true, because the truth has already been felt, and there's no way to unfeel what has already passed through. This person has reinvented themselves since then, changed, grown, remade themselves in various ways. But you're still there, at the bottom of the memory that still burns, in the perception that still comes back, in the skin that still remembers. And no matter how much they say everything is fine, it's not complete, because no one else did to them what you did, and they know it. They don't need to look for you. They don't need to hear you. They don't need to come back. But they feel, and keep feeling, not by choice, but because their body still recognizes you as something that did not repeat. And if this person still feels all of this, it's not because they are trapped, it's because it was real. And when something is real, it doesn't need to last to make an impact. It just needs to happen. They don't want to go back to what was. They don't want to repeat what they've already lived. But they also can't pretend it was just another story. Because it wasn't. It was there that they saw themselves completely. It was with you that they fell apart without fear. It was in that space that everything about them was embraced, even the parts that no one ever understood. And today, even with time, with distance, with new routines, they still feel. Because no one else did to them what you did. No one else looked with that presence. No one else stayed. Even when everything around threatened to disappear, you were the only one, even if it was for a short time, even without knowing how much it meant. And maybe this person will never say it out loud. But the memory of what was felt continues to scream inside. And if this touched you, if you felt something inside you while listening, it's because maybe that feeling also lives somewhere within you. And now I want to hear from you. What is the truth that no one has the courage to say about this? Tell me in the comments, and if this moved you, give it a like now. Help this video reach those who also need to remember that not everything that passed really passed. Subscribe to the channel to continue this journey with me. We're going to dive even deeper. There are truths you haven't even started to access yet, and I'll be here when that comes to light. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this today. With someone who carries a name in their memory, a touch that still resonates, a presence that continues to vibrate even in silence. The conversation continues. Click here. I'll see you there.